Hi everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Tim starting his own hotel in Thailand. And if you didn't catch up with last week's episode, a bit of an introduction, there's a link in the description under this video. And today we are talking about furniture, and we're talking about the fact that I'm starting with 7 empty rooms. Well, the whole place basically is empty. There's the building and there's the windows and there's all the services there, but I've got to fit it out. So I thought we'd go through the thought process of how I came up with ideas for furnishing and themes, and some of the ways that you can cut a few corners without cutting down on the quality. When it comes to things like theming in the resort, we've come up with a general retro sort of theme, including this type of mid-century furniture, like this little mid-century or faux mid-century armchair. Now you can have a really good look around the internet these days and just browse through thousands of furniture shops, and there are so many options these days, it's almost bewildering. Now I should warn you, there are plenty of scams out there, but you do find a few gems. So I've been really doing my research, and I found this, for example, and it was such a good price I thought, well, I'll buy one and I'll check it out. Now as it happens, they're really robust. Probably a bit of a tier up from, say, IKEA, and it could hold 200 or 300 kilogram person, no problems. You do have to put it together. It comes flat packed, but of course by being flat packed it's going to save you quite a lot of money. Saves money for the people storing the furniture, saves money for the people who are delivering it. They're really comfortable, they look really funky, and they're certainly very faux mid-century. But of course you don't have to buy new, you can also buy second-hand. I suppose one of the advantages of doing a bit of a retro theme is there's just no end of great second-hand stuff around. Now when I'm going for that retro theme, of course I am mostly looking for second-hand type furniture. And there's no shortage of places. Let's face it, there are sadly cafes and restaurants, hotels that are going out of business from time to time, and their stuff becomes available secondhand. And you have to go through a lot of rubbish, a lot of rocks until you can find the gems, but they are there. So it does take a bit of time to go through it. You have to go through all the different pages online, through Facebook Marketplace, but you can find some gems. I found these sort of almost authentic looking Chinese vases. They stand nearly a metre tall. I picked them up for about 1,500 baht each. Heavens knows what you'd pay for them new. And I suppose that's the other point. As you're going through this journey of putting the themes and the items together, sometimes you'll be taken off in a slightly different direction, the road less travelled. Well, sometimes it's worth just going down that and saying, well, maybe I won't do that theme, I'll do this theme instead, because I found so much great stuff that I can fit into that theme. So keep flexible. Now, you'd remember last week where we saw the pool for the first time. It was a disgusting mess. It was around about a foot down from the top, and all sorts of things were growing in there. I really didn't want to look too close. Could have been a crocodile in there or something. But we've been starting work on it during this week. We've got all the pumps working, and we're now starting to filter the water, and it's filled up just because of the rain here in Phuket over the past week. So it's been a productive week, and we've certainly got a bit of a good head start on getting the pool under control. Certainly by the time you get here, I think we'll have it nice and clean. One thing we were talking about last week was this area which we've now designated as a cafe. Let me just take you through a little bit of the mind journey on how we arrived at the situation. So this is the area we've got, which we've decided we're now going to turn into a cafe. Could have been a fitness area. It could have been a restaurant. We figured, after doing quite a lot of research, a lot of soul searching, that the best use would be as a cafe. One, for our guests to use, and also something that outsiders could easily come and enjoy, and also get to know more about the resort while they're here. It actually happens that it's got a fantastic view, and there's also plenty of area here to put the benches and the counter and the cake stands and all that sort of stuff along the wall. But clearly there are some problems with this, most notably the tiles. Now, ever since I saw the tiles, which are actually almost identical to the ones that are in my rented house in Phuket, I'd thought, no, the tiles have got to go. But what sort of theme were we going to have for the cafe? Well, again, we started talking to friends and going through lots of books and, of course, the internet, and we came upon the idea of doing it a bit of a faux colonial style. This sort of floor, this sort of white colour with plenty of hanging baskets, greenery, timber furniture, and we thought it would actually fit really nicely and fit the sort of faux retro theme around the whole resort. But of course, one of the main things would be a front of house counter. And again, you can spend thousands of baht, tens of thousands of baht on building a fancy counter. Again, I was lucky enough to go to a secondhand store and find a really cool secondhand counter out of an old cafe. It's in a faux marble, but with real marble countertops, and it's perfect for what we need. Maybe if I was going to select something myself, I would have come up with something different. But this will take us in a slightly different decorative direction, but it'll still look fantastic, and it cost me 5,000 baht. So this behind me is going to be one of our main rooms. It looks out across the magnificent view, and it's around about 120 square metres. It's going to be themed in a sort of a Peranakan old Phuket town style, but with all the modern amenities. And when we say themed, it's not like you're going to be walking back into the past 100 years ago, but you'll get a bit of a feel of that time with the decor and the photos. Let's go inside. So as we go inside, we find a few things that won't be here once it's eventually fitted out, including that old couch. But there is plenty of timber, the walls are painted, everything in these villas is already working. But most of this furniture won't be here by the time we've got it all fitted out. But this area is a huge living space. It'll have a living area with TV, armchairs. It'll also have a dining area. Then we've sort of got this, I suppose you'd call it like an ante-room, which comes from the entrance from inside the property. And then it goes into the main bedroom. And all the mattresses here are actually very high quality already. We're going to give all the furnishings a bit of a touch-up. And then there's a bathroom beyond. Yeah, that wardrobe, that's going to go as well. But even this room has a great view, and you can see Phang Nga in the distance there and looking out across the mountains. So I'm wanting to take you on the full journey from what we start with to what we finish with, because I think you'll see as we move along the journey, the difference between the start and the finish will be quite stark, and you'll be surprised as to what we'll be able to do with these raw bones. So there, another bit of a look at how we've started the makeover here. We've got 3 months before our opening. There's so much to do, but you're going to see the befores and the afters, what the rooms look like before we start on them, how we make a decision about the theming, and also next week I'm going to be telling you the name of the resort and how we came across that as well. If you missed last week's video, there's a link in the description. Please follow us as we head down this journey with all the lumps and bumps along the way. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.